Game started.
Oh, Dr. Cube again. He wants a rematch. Okay. He played d4 again. Okay, I'm not... I realized I could have played the Chigorin. After d4, d5, I can play the Chigorin. It goes this way. What do I want to do here? Okay, we'll see if he wants to play the London system. I'll try my system against that. And he's just trying to transpose into a Slav. I don't want to play the Slav again. There's nothing wrong with the Slav. Let's just play the Queen's Gambit accepted this time. And he's going to round the pawn up. Okay, well, this guy knows his opening theory, it looks like. It's funny that he plays that knight f3. Oh, maybe he's going for a Catalan. But he hasn't tempted me to play b5. In fact, he's shut down b5. I mean, the open Catalan here with pawns on c3 and c6 and b5 is kind of interesting because of the pressure on the c5 square, but I haven't moved the b pawn forward. Maybe he can push the a pawn forward and undermine. Anyway, let's bring the knight here. Okay, now he takes, and what do I got? I can play c3. He can play e5 at any time. I should probably play, c6. I should probably play c5 here. Right, get in the typical, typical break. If you can play that move, you can. If you can play that move, you should, or something like that. Dr. Cube. So he's got a little bit of a pawn weakness over here. Oh, he's just trading queens. Gosh, does this guy like his endgames? Or what? Okay, so my one problem here is the b7 square. His bishop is looking at it. I can't move it because of the rook. It's defended, at the moment it's defended by bishop and knight. But, so I want to play rook to b8. But he's got bishop to, he's got bishop to f4. Maybe I start with this move then, knight here. He can play e4 and chase that knight away though. See if he's tempted to do that. I can drop a knight into b6 here, I'm just now realizing. e4, knight b6. He takes the knight. Okay, so he covers the b6 square. b3 squares, rather. So knight b3 is no longer possible with this knight. This knight's also supporting e4. How about bishop here? I'm trying to control the f4 square. Maybe it's a hopeless quest. This may be futile. But all I want to do, I have a simple plan here of playing rook b8, and let's see if I take. I guess he'll take back with the knight. If he takes with the bishop, then I'll play knight b6. So that doesn't win material, but it gets me the bishop back, and that would be good. So bishop takes knight, knight takes bishop. Is there anything there I can play that's interesting? I don't see it. Let's see. If I go here, a very peculiar move. I guess I could play g6 and bishop g7 to make sense of this bishop placement. Okay, yeah, his knight just goes there. Let's make trade off that bishop. That's what I wanted. That's what I was going for. Okay, so now he walked onto that fork. It certainly makes my life a lot easier. And then rook b8 is possible now too. So, well, it's an interesting struggle, but he just fell for a cheap trick here. Had to take with the other rook. And then white's probably fine. But I got rid of the dark squared bishop, so I would be fine too. Rook b8 and b6 and bishop b7 would be playable. Okay, yeah, now he plays e5, yeah. Does the knight just want to go back to f6, plan to e5, then back where it is? I think so. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, he's getting out of it this way, huh? And that's clever. Okay, yeah, let's defend the rook. The rooks defend each other on the back rank. And the bishop is defended by the rook and the knight. The knight can be chased away, but the rook is still defending it. The bishop can now go to b6. I don't know. Okay, just went there. Giving up this pawn. I was going to say e5 was interesting, kicking this knight away and maybe opening up this diagonal for the bishop. So do I have time to grab a pawn here? Knight here, knight here. I think I should. I think I should grab that pawn and then bring the bishop back to c6. I don't think my knight is in trouble. I don't mind the trade of rooks down. Okay, so he brought his rook into that square. That defends his e-pawn. I was just noticing the e-pawn was hanging there. And it attacks the b-pawn. So, but I wanted to play bishop to c6 anyway, and that renews the attack on the e-pawn, and if he pushes to e5, I have knight to d5. Defended his knight on defended his knight here on d6, which is kind of an annoying piece. Okay, so let's trade knights. And now what? I can move this guy with tempo maybe. I trade off the light squared bishop. And I'd have to do something about this pawn, huh? It's on a dark square, so I can't attack that immediately. Okay, let's get my let's finally get my rook off of this diagonal, the light squared diagonal. Also defending this b pawn in case my bishop gets traded. So we have a bishop against a knight scenario. Yeah, he spotted that. The knight's attacking f7. He can add on with the rook, pile on with the rook. I can defend it. I could take the knight and put another pawn, because that pawn will be hard to defend. Let's see, rook takes, pawn takes, rook here. He has no move that defends that, right? But I'll be down the exchange for 2 pawns, and it's near the endgame. It's not clear that would be good enough. The bishop against the rook might not be such a great endgame for me. If I play f6, and he can take and take and take. Okay. So if I'm not going to take the rook, I should defend the pawn then. I mean, if I'm not going to take the knight, then I need to defend the pawn. Okay, so he can come into here or here. He can come into here, I guess. That's the issue. But my pawn is still defended. So I'm not worried about rook to c8. Maybe king to... Oh, I can't play king to e7 because that always loses the pawn. Yeah, I might have to give up the exchange for that knight there. To get rid of that knight. Okay, he decided to go somewhere else. So I can put that on a dark square. A square where the knight's not attacking it anyway. I can consider f6 now. Yeah, he can go there. I can also play king e7 now. Creep a little closer. He's got two checks. Knight check there. Knight check there. Yeah, knight check there would drive my king back to the back rank. That would be annoying. Okay, let's try and bust up these pawns here a little bit. Give my king another square to go to. Okay, I'm going to take. And now, should I just... Yeah, I have a passed pawn now. Let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. Yeah, I'm going to go for it.
Check.
I have two pawns for the exchange. And one of these pawns is a passed pawn, so I think this is worth something in the endgame. The other pawn over here can be made into a passed pawn. And now I get to activate my rook. Won't have to be just completely passive. Yeah, he spotted that. I was going to bring my rook over to the f-file and play rook to f3 there. I thought that would have been good. Okay, so let's make sure all those pawns are defended. Okay, so he's doubling on the back rank, which gives him kind of free rein to check by king and stuff. Let's see. So, for example, if I push this pawn forward, he could start checking, drive my king here, and then attack the pawn. It also covers my escape squares. So let's start pushing my... I'm going to leave this formation here and start pushing my queenside pawns.
Check.
I was a little worried he might have played his king up to f4 first before delivering that check. That would have prevented this maneuver. I could have considered pushing the pawn forward, but then his king could come forward and that pawn might be weak. So I was glad he didn't do that. Okay, so he's going to force a trade. Let's see, how do I want this to look after the trade? If I push this pawn forward, he takes, I take with the bishop. He brings his rook over to attack my bishop. I can play bishop here defending the b pawn. I can go after this pawn. I can drop my king back to defend these. It's a bit awkward. Is there some better defense? It'd be nice to counterattack. Let's. That's right. Yeah, when he goes after my rook, he gives up. He gives up the open file here. Yeah, that's why it's tricky to play with the bishop and rook against two rooks. They're pretty powerful. The rooks can coordinate and overpower you on certain points. Yeah, this is not good. He's going to win that one too. Okay, so let's push this forward.
Server announcement.
So I'm hoping I can defend that, also gain a tempo on his rook, then bring my rook over to G2 here. Take that pawn.
Check.
Okay, so he went back.
Check.
I wonder where the best placement for my pieces is. I'm going to push the G-pawn. I think that's clearly the plan here. His king came forward, huh? I think here. I push this pawn all the way forward to G2 maybe. Oh, we can take there. Oh my. I missed that idea. Let's see. Yeah, the pen on the pawn. Do I have anything here? There's no clever trick here. Yeah, good game. I'll upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later.